Smashing those protein goals can be hard, but one way I start my day is with a high-protein breakfast featuring Jones Dairy Farm's chicken sausage. Jones Dairy Farm makes premium crafted meat products such as all-natural breakfast sausage, available in pork, chicken and turkey, and center-cut Canadian bacon. 100% of their products are made in the USA with materials sourced primarily from the Midwest. Jones Dairy Farm products are available at most grocery stores, including Costco, and you can find them in a store near you at jonesdairyfarm.com. Today on CityCast Houston, do food awards really matter? And what's your go-to Houston summer restaurant? Let's talk food with CultureMap's Eric Sandler. And before we get to today's conversation, I want to invite you to our next meetup at St. Arnold Brewing on July 10th for a pre-713 day celebration. This event is free, but just RSVP with the link in our show notes, and we're going to be giving out free drinks to the first 20 people. Plus, you'll have a chance to win a Margaritaville Lake Resort Lake Conroe stay. I can't wait to see you on July 10th, so please RSVP now. It's a Thursday night. We're going to have fun, and I can't wait again to see every single person, especially you. It's Wednesday, June 25th. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. Eric, earlier this month, we were talking barbecue, specifically the Texas Monthly Top 50 Barbecue list, and you listen to the show, and I always appreciate that, and you'll send me text messages, every once in a while, but this particular episode got you so riled up. You sent me a voice memo countering some of my points, and Erica Chang, who was on with us, about how barbecue is no longer for the everyday person. It's also more about the sides for us now. I'm going to give you the floor because I know you were really riled up and I'm excited to hear this take. So get it out, okay? Let's talk this through. What was so wrong about what I said?
Well, look, you said that barbecue is very expensive, and I know it's not as cheap as it used to be, but nothing is as cheap as it used to be. And if you really think about it, brisket's still a pretty good deal. If you think about all the work that goes into making it and how long it takes to cook, I mean, they smoke it for 12 to 16 hours. $35 a pound is kind of a steal. Like, think about it in comparison to Tex-Mex. Why are you happy to pay up to $70 for a pound of fajitas at a place like Papacitos or El Tiempo, but you balk at paying half that for a pound of brisket? Are flour tortillas, free chips, and a little guacamole worth that much more to you than white bread, pickles, and barbecue sauce?
Oh, good point. Good point. Okay, I will counter that. I am fed up with fajitas as well. I think that pricing has gotten really wonky. Eric, I used to do a thing called Fajita Friday. My wife and I would go eat lunch at, usually Gringo's or one of the big chains that is, pretty accessible. And we stopped doing it a few years back because it is so expensive just to get fajitas for two. You're right. It's like $70. That's too much. That's like a celebration meal.
If you had queso and a couple of margaritas, it's $100. And that's at lunch. Tex-Mex pricing is out of control. But, just like when you go to a Tex-Mex place, you can have a quesadilla if you don't want to spring for fajitas. Barbecue restaurants know people are feeling the pinch. That's why many of them are offering cheaper options like burgers. And I'm seeing a lot of pork chops and pork steaks around town.
Yeah.
Now, I know you don't dig on swine, but lots of other people do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I see Feejus Barbecue doing a lot of great things with pork. That is a cheaper meat or a more accessible meat. I don't want to say cheap because that makes it sound like the quality is bad, but it's more affordable.
Right. It's certainly more affordable,
Yeah.
right? A pork chop or a pork steak is a lot less expensive than brisket.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, so that is it right there. That Texas Monthly Top 50 Barbecue list is fantastic. I know you had Daniel Vaughn on your podcast. I'm going to link that in the show notes so people want to hear more about what went in, why certain places didn't make it, because I had a gripe with that as well. Like, can we stop doing honorable mentions? Just give me 50 places. Let's just go. Come on, give me 50 and that's it. Don't put more.
Well, look, I think Texas Monthly is trying to balance the reality, which is when they started doing these lists, 30 years ago or whatever, there weren't that many places, right? It was hard to find 50. Now they could do 200 and it still wouldn't get all of the really good places in Houston and everywhere across Texas. So
yeah,
I think the 50 is still a 50. That's the best place to be. But I mean, there's a lot of good restaurants on that honorable mentions. Killen's Barbecue, Tejas Chocolates and Barbecue, Feejus Barbecue, Brett's Barbecue Shop in Katy. I mean, these are like, if you came here from somewhere that wasn't Texas and you ate at any of those places, you'd be like, this is the best barbecue I've ever had in my life.
True.
But because barbecue in Texas is so great, we're splitting hairs here. I mean,
Yeah.
the difference
Okay.
between, even like Truth, which is one of the very best in Texas, and Fijis is small.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. They're incredible places. Shout out to all of them. Speaking of awards, Eric, last week, Chef Thomas Billy of Belly and the Beast in Spring won Best Chef Texas at the James Beard Awards. And this is something that you've covered. You've covered Thomas Billy as well here for years. I mean, he is fantastic. But zooming out, okay, and this is a very open-ended question. I know it's kind of loaded as well. Do these awards really matter? Like even the Texas Monthly Top 50, do these awards really matter?
They do. And I know that it's easy to dismiss them as kind of foodie nonsense, but they represent a certain amount of like respect from the media, from your peers. And what's interesting is that they guide a lot of other media content, a lot of tourism. I mean, think about the Texas Monthly Top 50, right? You talked about it on your podcast. I did, 3 different episodes that kind of touched on it on my podcast. Like, so people want to have these conversations.
Mm,
The choices are overwhelming, and the awards kind of guide places. And the James Beard Award is that kind of ultimate level of American culinary respect. If you think about who's the last restaurant in Houston to win Best Chef Texas, it's Chef G at Street to Kitchen. Well, when she won that award, they were still in their original location in the gas station. And then the prestige and the notoriety from achieving that award allowed them to move to their much bigger, nicer location still in the East End. And, for Thomas Billy, who, like, I met him in 2020 when he opened the first location of Belly of the Beast in Old Town Spring, and he was basically doing tacos and ceviches. But you could tell that the quality was so good that he had a lot more to say about food and culture and his Mexican heritage. And so he opened another restaurant in the Heights with a group, and then he left after about a year. And then he came back to this new location of Belly of the Beast that's in a different part of Spring. And the menu is so much more
mm.
expansive, and the service is better, and the beverage program is more refined. And so, this is like the best of what it means to be a Mexican American chef in Texas in 2025. And obviously that's a major culinary influence for the state. So,
Gotcha.
especially like interloopers, right? Like you're a suburbs guy, but let me speak for my fellow interloopers here. It is hard to get us to get on a freeway to go out to dinner. But this James Beard Award is kind of that level of recognition that will push people to make the drive to Spring and see what he's all about.
Yeah.
And for Thomas, it will send him to festivals all over the country and open up all kinds of opportunities for him.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't know that it changes like on that level too. Like now he's going to be
Yeah.
invited to these major festivals because of this award. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, like if you look at who Chris Shepard invites to the Southern Smoke Festival every year, almost all of them are either James Beard Award winners or Food and Wine Best New Chef winners. They've achieved some level of national recognition. But
Mm,
like you'll start to see Thomas, you know, like he's from LA, right? You'll start to
sure.
see him at California food festivals because he's the new James Beard Award winner from Texas.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he wound up like doing a cookbook or something like that. It really opens you up to a wider world.
When these awards are submitted, is it fellow chefs? Is it the restaurants themselves? Like, how are they nominated for something like this?
Sure. So I can tell you that I've been a voter in this process for the last few years. And so I'm pretty familiar with it. And essentially, anyone can nominate a restaurant or a chef for a James Beard Award. And then there's a committee of mostly people in the media and some other people who review all the applications. And then that's how you get from nominees to semifinalists, which is kind of that long list. And then there's actually a tasting process, an evaluation process that goes on where all these restaurants get visited by uh, people on these different committees. And then semifinalists get cut down to finalists. There's another round of tasting, another round of discussion, and then we vote
Okay.
from finalists to winners.
Okay, so you're going to invite me for the tasting part next year, right? Like the other stuff I'm going to pass on because that's a lot of stress, but the tasting part sounds fantastic.
The tasting part's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's great for the restaurants, it's great for the chef. Now let's talk about the consumer. Let's talk about people who are dining at these restaurants. You mentioned, for you, inside the loop, something like this is going to get you out to Spring. But just on a normal everyday basis, are many consumers like really looking at this chef didn't win this or they were nominated for this? in their decision process when picking a restaurant?
Well, I don't know that it works in a negative way, like, Totemo sucks now because they got nominated but they didn't win, or Emma is just not quite as good as it used to be because they were one of the 10 finalists for best new restaurant in America, but they didn't win. But I do think that winning, not to go all Goodfellas on you, but you are kind of made. And I think even for people in spring, I think it's a point of pride, right? Like we have this nationally recognized restaurant in our little town in Texas, and same for the Texas Monthly, right? They got two restaurants, Corkscrew Barbecue and Rosemeyer Barbecue, in the top 50, right? Like that's as many as Houston got. So I think for people in spring, it'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard about that place, or I've seen it on Facebook, or I've seen it on social media. Like we should go try that now. Like I want to support this place that's a destination in my town.
Good for spring. I'm going to head out there and eat at all these great restaurants, and then also grab a funnel cake in Old Town Spring because they have funnel cakes there as well. So shout out to them. Ready to escape the city this summer? Hit the road and head to Navasota, Texas, where you'll find authentic charm and bold experiences. Navasota's just outside of Houston, and they have live music on the rooftop, fantastic shopping, and of course, Texas flavors. Kick off your 4th of July at the Freedom Festival with food trucks, fireworks, and a live performance by the Texas Eagles Band. And if live music is your thing, you'll love the Sounds of Navasota concert series, featuring live music under the stars. The best part, these events are free. Navasota also has a historic downtown with one-of-a-kind shopping, and at their Sip and Shop event, you can stroll, sip, and support local businesses. And for my foodies, they have so many great restaurants and wineries. This isn't your average detour, it's a full-on experience. Make your summer road trip count. Plan your getaway today at visitnavasota.com. Follow the yellow brick road to the George Theater and let the adventure begin, because The Wizard of Oz, the musical, is playing live on stage at the George Theater from July 9th to August 10th. I can already hear myself singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow as I step into the land of Oz with Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion in this beloved classic. Here's the best part. They have sensory-friendly performances, closed caption performances, an all-ages performance on August 9th, and matinee and evening shows, as well as one double feature day where they'll screen the film. How cool is that? Do something special with your kids, friends, loved ones, or make it a solo date and check out The Wizard of Oz, the musical, at the George Theater. Tickets are going fast, so grab yours today at adplayers.org or call the box office at 713-526-2721. You brought up Emma earlier, but I think you're wrong in saying the name Emma because it is now Casa Emma.
Yes, it is Casa Emma.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite places here on CityCast Houston. We usually go there for our meetups, and we love eating there. The coffee is fantastic. The food is fantastic. Obviously, the pastries are great. But they made this name change. We haven't had a chance to talk about this. What happened with this name change? Because Emma is now Casa Emma.
Yeah, I will say they have not said publicly what prompted this name change. I have heard kind of behind the scenes that there was a situation where there's another restaurant that's also called Emma, and that they have a trademark on the name Emma. And so, the law on this is really pretty clear that you can't infringe on an existing trademark. And so even though it wasn't done maliciously, and even though they don't serve the same type of cuisine and are in the same city, that was enough, I guess. I'm not a lawyer. You'd have to get a lawyer to explain it.
Okay.
But that was enough to sort of prompt them to change the name from Emma to Casa Emma. And I will say that this happens from time to time in Houston. We've seen this a few times over the years.
Oh, yeah.
If you go way back, Good Dog Houston, which is closed down, they were originally Good Dog Hot Dog. And, and someone in California complained and said, we already have Good Dog. So they added the Houston to distinguish themselves. Or, I know you've been to Burger Chan. That's one of my favorite burger spots around town. When they first opened, they were Kuma Burger, and someone else had Kuma Burger somewhere in, I think, in Chicago. And so, it happens. It's unfortunate that Emma was so far along in terms of being in the Michelin Guide and being a James Beard finalist and all that stuff when they had to change the name. But I'm glad that they found a name that preserves the Emma part.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And the food isn't changing, by the way.
No, nothing about nothing about their food is changing. Casa
Yeah.
Emma is still, like, honestly, like one of the most delicious restaurants in Houston right now, especially for the price.
I can't wait for them to get a bigger space, though. It's going to happen soon. It has to, right? Because it is always packed there now, and it's still so good.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a second location in their future because, the nice thing about a breakfast and lunch concept like Casa Emma, it should be relatively easy to replicate.
Oh, yeah. Definitely scalable. Definitely scalable.
I would hope so for them.
Come out to Richmond, Texas. I'm going to mention it, Eric. Come on. Come out to the burbs.
Come to Midtown. Just make my drive a little shorter. I don't care about.
Why not both? Let's just.
Why not
You
both?
manage the Casa Emma Midtown. I'll do the Richmond one. It's so awesome. I'm so happy for their success. So the name change, by the way, I do want to mention, like, if you still Google Emma Houston, it still comes up. So their website still is Emma HTX. So it'll help them out. The name change, it sucks that it happened, but they can still be found, which is really, really important for restaurants because as soon as you're lost in that Google search, Eric, that's it. Like, that could be the end.
Right. And they changed the names of their social media handles. So if you're already following them, you're still following them. And if you're not following them, you should be, because again, this is such a delicious restaurant. It's such a great local success story.
Eric, I know you've been outside. It is blistering hot. Like, we are in the middle of a Houston summer, and barbecue is something that Houstonians love during the summer. But I want to ask you, like, what is your must-have summer food or a summer restaurant that just makes Houston summers bearable? Where are you going?
Well, I want to talk to you about a new restaurant that I just tried for the first time a couple of weeks ago because it brings back to our mutual past of being colleagues in a former life.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about 1560 The Game, the sports talk radio station. You may remember that they had a weekend show called Southbound Food.
Oh, yes. Brian Caswell.
Brian Caswell is back. We know him for Reef. We know him for El Real, Tex-Mex Cafe. Both of those restaurants closed.
Little Bigs.
Little Bigs. Little Bigs, the sliders were great. Stella Sola. I had a surprise birthday party at Stella Sola in like 2009 or 10.
Yeah.
But no, Brian is back. He's opened a new restaurant in Memorial called La Tule. And what's really fun is if you know him from any of those other restaurants, then the good news is that he's doing a lot of the dishes, right? Like the meatballs from Stella Sola are an appetizer. The roasted grouper with corn pudding and a roasted peach from the Reef Days is one of the dinner entrees. Obviously, there's a burger on the bar menu. Yeah. It's not a slider like Little Bigs was, but he's doing some Mexican flavors. So, you take all that together, and it's just a really exciting place to be. And I will say, I was there on a Tuesday, and it was packed.
Oh man,
Memorial is excited. They have missed them some Brian Caswell.
Oh, I can't wait because Reef was one of my favorite places to go and get fresh seafood. I actually went on a fishing trip with Brian Caswell and some of his friends and family. And literally we got off the boat. We took the fish right to Reef and he cooked it for us. It was one of the best meals I've ever had. Oh, I can't stop thinking about that snapper. It is so good. I'm so glad he's back. And then Little Bigs is a place that was very special to me because every anniversary, my wife and I would go to Little Bigs. It was really close to the place we got married, the Greek Annunciation Church. And we just loved hanging out at Little Bigs. It's such a good menu. So I'm glad that Brian Caswell is back. And he's one of the OG chefs. Like, to me, he's the guy that made it first. And he was on Food Network. He was getting recognized and really brought a lot of national attention to Houston. And since then, our food scene has just skyrocketed to epic levels.
No, that's right. I mean, Houston restaurants in the 90s weren't getting a lot of respect, right? We were really a steak town, a Tex-Mex town. and the wider food media was not paying a lot of attention to us.
Mm.
Brian Caswell is one of the people who really changed that. He worked for Jean-Georges von Gereichen, one of the most incredible French chefs in the world. He grew up in Houston, but he cooked all over in New York and abroad, and he brought all that experience to a hotel restaurant, Bank Jean-Georges, and then to Reef. And it's hard to overstate how revolutionary Reef was when it opened in the mid-aughts, and how quickly he kind of grew that empire to do Tex-Mex and Italian and sliders and everything else. I know Houston, people move here all the time, so you may not remember, but if you go to Latuli, you will understand.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited for him. I'm definitely going to check it out. Is there like an old school spot or a food item for the summer that you just have to have as well?
Well, I mean, is ice cream too obvious an answer?
No, it's not. Because mine was going to be snow cones at any snow cone joint you see, like any small mom and pop business. You go there, stop in, get double condensed milk, get a snow cone, and enjoy it. Like that is such a Houston summer thing. Which ice cream spot are you going to?
I spread my ice cream dollars around, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll go to Cloud 10 for their Cafe Suda. I'll pick up a pint of whatever Josh is spinning at Underground Creamery. Honey Child Sweet Creams in the Heights is on my list because she does seasonal ice cream. So, berry season is winding down, and her whole dipping case is about to be full of peaches.
Oh
and
my
I
gosh.
love fresh peaches.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Eric, this was so much fun. I'm so excited for the summer now, and I'm excited we had a chance to talk about barbecue and throw some shade at fajitas as well. Tex-Mex, we're watching you. It's time to adjust these prices a little bit, okay? You're not spending 16 hours smoking fajitas. Come on, let's lower this price a little bit. Tortillas don't cost that much. Eric, thank you so much, man.
Raheel, this was a lot of fun. It's always good to talk to you.
That was Eric Sandler. He's the editor at CultureMap Houston and the host of the What's Eric Eating podcast. Hey, what's your go-to summer food or restaurant in H-Town? Send me a voicemail by calling 713-489-6972 or shoot a text to that number with your recommendation. Help us grow the show by sharing this episode with 3 of your foodie friends so you can plan your next hangout together at one of these great places we talked about. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please drop us a rating and review wherever you're listening. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so CityCast Houston can be in your feed every weekday morning. Want more Houston food news and events around H-Town? Check out our daily newsletter, Hey Houston, at houston.citycast.fm. Thanks. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you at the snow cone stand. I'm not going to lie, but anytime I see an adult eating a quesadilla, I scoff at him a little bit. Like, come on, what are you, a 3-year-old? Why are we eating quesadillas here?